Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurants, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy. Hello, dear.
Hi, Peggy.
Hi. Ian McNulty, food writer for the Times Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hey, Mr. Ian. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. We're so excited. New Orleans jazz clarinetist, bandleader, and historian, Dr. Michael White. Hi there. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey. He has a brand new album out. We're really excited. And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hi, Alan. Hello. Poppy,
Hey,
you have discovered a brand new way to keep cool during these very hot summer days.
Oh, we all need a little whimsy, and it's best if it comes frozen these days. And there is a new spot called Popsicle Doorbell. Now, Popsicle Doorbell began last summer as Big O Pops, and this is the project of a fellow named Jesse Riley, who's a stay-at-home dad. He's got 3 little ones at home. And so last summer, he started selling his pops that he was making in front of Marky's bar, at the playground there. He was around and about the neighborhood. Well, when the pandemic happened, he decided to go touchless with his popsicles. And he opened up right out of his house what he's calling Popsicle Doorbell. It's so whimsical. It's adorable. It's on Royal Street between Gallier and Congress, just around the corner from Elizabeth's, if anybody knows that, down in the Bywater. So it's great to walk over, or if you're not so close, it's a great drive on an afternoon, and the flavors that you will be rewarded with. Oh my goodness, there's a key lime pie, yum, that has graham cracker crumbs on the outside. There's cookies and cream pop that has whole cookies in it. And so there's over 20 pops to choose from, including a kiwi slice with raspberry. There's a spicy mango and a pineapple that have a chili dust on top. And so they're just yummy and fun. And I thought we could all use a little frozen yummy fun right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. And over to Ian with some sad news, because we're saying goodbye to a truly remarkable New Orleans restaurant.
Oh, Peggy, yes. We're talking about K. Paul's Louisiana Kitchen, the restaurant that really launched Chef Paul Prudhomme into the world. And what big news that was this week. Of course, the cause, COVID-19, the times we're living in. The restaurant has been run in the years since Paul Prudhomme's death in 2015 by his niece, Brenda Prudhomme, and her husband, the longtime chef at K. Paul's, Paul Miller. What they tell me is they looked at the ups and downs, the ins and outs of opening and closing and different rules regarding restaurants, and the prospects ahead for what is really very few seasons of the economy with tourism in the tank for New Orleans, and they just thought now is the time to shut it down. But it's hard to overstate just what an impact this restaurant made in the years that it was open. Not just for the people who like us have been fortunate enough to have it in our backyard to dine there through the years, but really for American restaurants. It's been around for so long, it's almost easy to forget the impact that it made. But this was a restaurant that really revolutionized what a top restaurant could be, how it could look, what chefs could do outside of the kitchen. Beyond the cookbooks and the cooking shows, Paul Prudhomme did early versions of pop. He was a trendsetter for food. A lot of this was very revolutionary in its day. And a lot of it still ripples through American culinary.
The blackened redfish.
From coast to coast.
Yeah, blackened redfish.
Blackened redfish.
The spices.
Which later, of course, you replaced with the blackened drum, the blackened anything, right? The blackened steak there was a big favorite of mine.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a moment in time, Peggy. I mean, this is a restaurant that had not just been around for a long time, but made a huge impact on generations of chefs. Its loss is very significant and will be felt for some time to come, I believe.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll be back to you soon. But over to Dr. Michael White, and you have a new album in the midst of so many things going on. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to have a new album out and not have to work on it recently. It's a recording of a concert that we played at the Little Gem Saloon from a couple of years ago when we were celebrating the 20th anniversary of Basin Street Records.
Wonderful. And, of course, this was at the Little Gem. And you have, Greg Stafford, a lot of folks who play with you on a regular basis, even, until recently, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have several different groups and combinations that I use. And on this particular one, we had my quartet, which included Greg Stafford on trumpet and vocal, and Seba Vinay on banjo, and Mark Brooks on bass. And we had a special guest appearance from a guy that plays with us occasionally, Jason Marcellus on drums.
All right. Now, before we go any further, though, let's see a clip. I'm so glad you all videotaped this, okay? And here's an excerpt from a very famous traditional jazz song, Canal Street Blues. had to be so much fun to do. Did you all have to record it when you? So the recording, the album, is of that night. Your performance, is that correct?
Yes, that's right. That's right. I mean, we were having so much fun. I didn't even realize that we were recording. I forgot.
Now I know you're a man with Have Clarinet Will Travel. What did you bring today? You're going to show us. Okay.
Oh well, I have a special clarinet that I've been using a lot lately. It's from the Schwenk and Sajilka company in Germany. They made it especially for me, and
Wow.
it's made out of an African hardwood that comes from Mozambique, Mopani wood.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
it has a special sound, and I really like it.
Okay, great. Well, we'll be right back to you in just a bit to talk about what you have been up to during these challenging times. But over to Alan. And Alan, an important new survey with some really very, very essential information for the local cultural scene, huh?
Yeah. As part of a study that was commissioned by the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra and the New Orleans Opera Association, MDRG surveyed a number of people who were already subscribers of the LPO and subscribers of the opera, as well as the general public. And there's some disturbing data that they've come up with. First of all, the respondents in all the sectors registered between a 58 and 60% decrease in coming into a theater situation anytime between now and October. And even in October, it would only be at 50% capacity. All three groups, by the way, mentioned that there would have to be 4 items, specific safety measures put into place. That is, for all of the people who are staffed to wear masks, all the people who attend the theater in person to wear masks, also to have limited seating, of course, social distancing, and also to provide hand sanitizers in all of the areas around the theater as well. And even though many of the people have been financially impacted due to the COVID pandemic, some people out of work, et cetera, some people having to take a pay cut, most of the people who responded said they were concerned about health and safety measures, and they were not worried about the costs. So more to the point about theater, all the groups answered that between 82 and 87% that they would not feel safe in any indoor theater at 50% capacity. That's an astounding statistic. Also, the general public, not LPO or opera people, said that they felt leery about attending any kind of live performance. And the subscribers for the Philharmonic and the opera were a little bit higher than the general public, between 30 and 35% for them, but only about 18% for the general public. And in addition, 50% of the people who surveyed said that they would additionally require temperature checks for those people who were staff members, as well as those people who were attending live concerts. So 5% of the subscribers, 9% of the LPO, and 12% of the general public will never go back into a theater at this stage of the game. That's what they said. Approximately 10% of the people. And that's amazing. Also, about 1/3 of the LPO members are really not likely to be impacted because most of them are working. The ones that were surveyed, this is about 1,000, a little bit under 1,000 people, 700 and some odd people that were surveyed. But 2/3 of subscribers say from the LPO that they're going to go when they can.
Okay.
But research suggests that really outdoor venues are the way to go. And we talked about this with the Actors Equity Group last Monday night, and they had 4 core points. The epidemic's got to be under control. Individuals who are infected have to self-quarantine. Venues have to be modified, even modified so much as their air conditioning systems, and it's got to be a collaborative effort.
Okay. Thank you. Trying times. Thank you, Alan. Back over to Poppy, and 2 events that we look forward to or have kind of had to switch gears a little bit, huh?
Well, festivals are interesting these days, aren't they? And so what's about to happen with the Beignet Fest that usually takes place in the fall is that next weekend they're going to have a fest in place. Now, the way this works is that means you're going to the places with the beignets, and there's 12 participating locations. What's different is that the Beignet Fest is going to include Baton Rouge and the North Shore, and there's all sorts of wonderful restaurants, of course, among the 12, Loretta's, Cafe Beignet, Ruby Slipper, and the Vintage, with delicious choices like praline and how about pimento cheese and jalapeno? So you go to the places, you get your beignets, and then you have an opportunity to vote. So there'll be winners, just like in the past. And also, like in the past, a portion will go to support the special needs children. So it's a charitable endeavor. And then another thing that people look forward to, and of course it didn't happen this year, the New Orleans Wine and Food Experience, the NOWFE Wine Dinners have been announced. Very interesting. from July 22nd until September 23rd. This is something chefs are not really able to do right now, which is come up with adventurous menus to pair with very special wines. And they're doing this at a bunch of participating restaurants. It's kicking off next weekend at Broussard's with Prisoner Wine. It's interesting to note, if you're interested, I'd go and buy myself a ticket as soon as possible, because the day these were announced, GW Finn's sold out. So there's great dinners to look forward to at the Palace and the Rib Room and La Petite Grocery. Yum.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure their capacity is limited, obviously. So, yeah, that's right.
It's all at 50%. It's all, with all of the safety measures. And most of the restaurants are closed except for this event.
Oh, boy.
To take place. So you're not going to be in there with the general public.
All right. Thank you so much, Poppy. And back over to Ian, a local meal program helping people in need, but also the restaurants, too, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Peggy. This is an effort to get two meals off of the same plate. In other words, feeding two different needs from the same meal. So this is a program that was launched in the beginning of July, and it's still going on through this month. It's coordinated by the City of New Orleans. We're working closely with a network of local restaurants organized through a nonprofit called Chef's Brigade. And there's another company called Revolution Food involved. So it's many partners coming together. But the end effect is restaurants across the city are being paid to cook meals that are being packaged and delivered to people who need them around New Orleans who sign up for this program. And you can still sign up for this. There are some limits on the types, on people who can sign up for it in different situations. If you're already receiving SNAP benefits, for instance, this would be considered a duplication of benefits, and so those people are not eligible for this round. But kids under 18, adults over 65, people who need to stay home, people who have immunocompromised conditions, a very, very wide net of people who apply for this. You sign up, and you get meals either delivered to your house or you can go pick them up at a distribution site. And here's the thing, Peggy, these meals are coming from New Orleans restaurants. This is not your standard sort of government contract.
Commissary kind of thing, no.
Commissary kind of thing. Right. These are being cooked up in the restaurant kitchens of restaurants in your neighborhoods all around New Orleans. And it's a big benefit to the restaurants because with the limitations on the business they can do, this is another way for them to earn income. It's supported by taxpayer dollars, and it's being administered through the city, but to these restaurants. So it's a double beneficiary of the people who get these meals and get to have these meals in their home. They don't need to go out if they're if they don't need to put themselves at greater exposure. They can stay in. And also know that at the same time, restaurants are being supported. So call 311 if you're a New Orleans resident, or go online to NOLA.gov, and you can find details about eligibility, how to sign up, what it entails. But I know the restaurants that are participating are happy to be cooking and eager to be cooking some more. So you're doing them a favor.
Very good, including Cafe Navarre, I understand, too. So, yeah.
That's right. That's
lots of them. Thank you so much. And back to Michael. So, Michael, unfortunately, a lot of live music cannot legally be performed now because of course, our distancing needs. So what have you been up to during this time?
Well, I really miss playing, live music, playing with guys and reacting with audiences. But I've taken this time to do a lot of practicing and also composing. I've been writing a lot of songs about a lot of different things, about a lot of the emotions that the situation with COVID and other things are generating. So I've come up with like a telephone book worth of songs, brand new songs.
Yeah, and can we see some of these performances online, or is that possible? Or?
Well, hopefully I would like to record some of these songs in the future. But fortunately, a few weeks ago came along the Positive Vibrations Foundation, and that is a local private organization that I've done summer programs with for the last several years. And they have a mission to create, encourage community through music, the arts, culture, and heritage. And they have a special series called Master Clips Series. And they called and said, we would like you to record 10 new songs. Well, fortunately,
wow.
I had a few dozen songs, so I picked up several of those, and we did a program with an interview, and I'm playing a lot of the different songs, and some of them deal with, like I said, things that are going on now, but also things that come from Louisiana culture and traditions. So I'm looking forward to, having those come out, and people can see that by going to positivevibrations.org/masterclip series, and my particular segment is going to come out soon. I'm not sure of the exact date.
All right.
But we recorded it a few weeks ago, so.
Now, I'm sure anybody who knows you knows this, but just a reminder that you wear many hats, okay? And you have also been a professor at Xavier for how many years?
It's hard to believe, but it's 40 years now that I've been a professor at Xavier. And almost half of that time I've been the Keller Endowed Chair in the Humanities.
And you teach the history of African-American music in New Orleans, is that correct?
History of African-American music, that's correct. The whole thing, we cover the whole scope, yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. 40 years, gee, that's great. We're so glad you're here. And over to Alan, and Alan, some things to look at online.
Right, but most important, New Orleanian by choice, Mark Catali Productions is having the Seth Rudetsky concert series. And this Sunday, for the first time, he's never appeared on the stage in New Orleans that I know of. Norm Lewis will be on. He'll be taking the stage with Seth Rudetsky right in your living room, as it were. Now, Norm, who starred in Porgy and Bess opposite last week's star Audra McDonald, was the first Black Phantom of the Opera. And again, one of the best voices on Broadway. If you get a chance, I'd recommend this very highly. Start time is 7 o'clock Central Time. Next week, though, it's going to be time for the star of the TV show Smash. That's Megan Hilty. And, of course, the star of Bombshell, which was the fictional Broadway show that they were going to do that Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman did in Smash. So Megan Hilty, also the original star of Dora Lee, who was in, of course, 9 to 5. That was the Dolly Parton role on Broadway in 9 to 5. She's going to be there. And you'll see me and her now, and you'll see her on stage on Sunday, July the 25th. And then the week after that, Cheyenne Jackson, who has been in New Orleans once before. Many people remember him from Glee and also his appearances on 30 Rock. He's going to be on, and it's going to be a great concert series, again, continuation of what they've already had. Also, on NOLA Theater Talk this week, we have the choreographers, Diane Lala, Jeanne Buisson, Jarrell Hamilton, Heidi Moldar, and Palenko Jones Jr. as the lone male in that group. And then Monday night, it's time for an original piece called Clark and Carol, starring Kelly Lynn as Carol Lombard and Robert Pavlovich as Clark Gable. And that particular show will remain up for a week.
Very good. Rosemary O'Neill, huh? And Rosemary O'Neill playwright on that one, too.
Correct.
Right? She's so talented.
And don't forget, of course, John Bigonet's Shotgun at the end of the month, the second of the 3-part trilogy that's going to be seen on our NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group and theatercriticism.com Facebook page as well.
All right. Thank you. Now it's time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Well, if I caught the wine lover's attention with the NOWFE Dinner Series, here's another one for you. 50% off selected wines Tuesday through Thursday at Doris Metropolitan. And that's to go as well as to drink there. So great deals. That's quite a wine list.
Yes, indeed. Ian.
Liberty's Kitchen, the youth service organization, the nonprofit, has been hard at work throughout the pandemic. But just recently, its cafe reopened, the Broad Street Cafe right there on North Broad, attached to the Whole Foods Market right there. I love their burger. I love their Cobb salad. I love their Cowboy Caviar. And there's a full Starbucks coffee bar in there, too. Nonprofit cafe that helps the youth service mission.
All right, great. Michael.
Well, I'm going to do a little shameless self-promotion.
Absolutely.
And say that people should go to Basin Street Records website. We have the new CD, Dr. Michael White Live, out, but also I have 7 other CDs on Basin Street Records. And in addition to myself, there are a lot of great local artists who have been doing very well locally, but also internationally. And, the record company has a few special deals on multiple packages. So you can't,
right.
That's something great to kind of stay inside during COVID and check out that music, great music.
And Michael, if somebody wanted to contact you, like perhaps after, we're doing more outdoor stuff and more performance, how do they reach you?
Well, a good way to reach me is through my email address, NOLA, N-O-L-A 007 CLT at yahoo.com.
All right, very good. Thank you. And Alan?
Peggy, right now, during this pandemic, all of us who are creatively minded need to be writing our own poetry, our one-act plays, our short stories, because it's all going to be looked at, examined, and we're going to have winners announced as part of the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival. That particular contest, or those 4 contests, are going to be opening up. That's for poetry, one-act plays, fiction, and short fiction. And it's all up on the TennesseeWilliams.net site. I'll see you at the theater, Peggy.
Thank you. And now my picks. Pianist, actor, comedian Uncle Wayne Daguerpont will be playing show and pop tunes this Sunday and next Friday at the Anna Capri Bar at Andrea's Restaurant in Metairie. And online next Thursday afternoon at 4:30, historian Mickey Pfeffer will talk about writer Grace King's friendship and correspondence with Mark Twain. This is in conjunction with her brand new book, A New Orleans Author in Mark Twain's Court. The easiest way to watch the free talk is to go to marktwainhouse.org and click on Events. It's presented by the Mark Twain House and Museum in Hartford, Connecticut. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, my pals. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Thank you.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Christovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Christovich.